Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Chart Nerd TA video. We're going to be diving back into Chiliz here. Now, there's this massive play that I'm looking at as a huge potential for Chiliz. I think leading into the World Cup and, you know, with all these fan tokens, I think there's still a lot of continuation to come. And I know, like Chainlink did in the last bull run, in 2017-18, you know, Chainlink was very, very bullish through the bear market, you know, and Chiliz been one of these coins that since its low in June, you know, it shot up 250% nearly. You've had this little pullback now, you're looking to hold support, and if you start tackling out of this local high in the coming weeks, I think you're looking very, very bullish. Now, why are we looking bullish? Okay, so first off, there's a potential pattern here that Chiliz is looking to form. Okay, so you've got this strong level of resistance, okay, which Chiliz has ran up to. Okay, this is where you had that massive 247% move, okay, from the lows up to you basically retrace back up to this high of which you came down from, because you can see from here, okay, Chiliz put in this local top, okay, it came down, it basically created a lower high here, and you basically then had this large ABC, which was actually a C wave of an even bigger ABC. Okay, so there's waves within waves basically. So to basically put it out to you guys, okay, you had this high, you came down, this was your A wave, this is your B wave, this was your C wave on the weekly. Okay, now so at this point you're basically starting some new impulsive waves. This is potentially a wave one. If this is the low right now from this retracement, okay, and you don't come back any lower, it's quite a sharp wave two on the weekly time frame. And if you break out of this resistance, I think you're looking for a wave three, you know, and further on, so on and so forth. So how would we reach those targets? Well, as we've said, okay, you've had this massive ABC, you've got this low right here, okay, now the primary resistance, okay, we found this low here, sorry, forgive me, going back a bit, we found this low, okay, and at this point we came back up, we ran into resistance, we came back down, this was the C wave, the final C wave correction, okay, we found support down at, what was this price around here, so it's 0.0798, okay, now at this level of support, what you can see here is that, okay, we came up, we got rejected, we found support, okay, you've come back up to the same area of resistance, you've come back for support, and you could see that your support area, okay, was back down on the previous support that we had back here. Okay, so your support is tying up quite nicely and giving quite good confluence that this potential pattern is an inverse head and shoulders, okay, because you've got this left shoulder, okay, where you ran into resistance, that was your first point of contact as resistance, and then you had this, as we said, we had that large C wave down, and this is how we found that low. Now this C wave down is the head, okay, you've come back up with the head, you've met the same point of contact as resistance as before, and you've pulled back for support. Now this right shoulder has fallen back exactly where to the left shoulder has, so if there's ever a symmetrical sort of pullback for the two shoulders, right now you're holding that and it's looking lovely. So all we need to see for the confirmational break right here is for Chiliz start to come up and start to tackle this local high that we put in at 28 cents. If you start to see Chiliz doing something like this, okay, and you're coiling up and you basically form some sort of ascending triangle, okay, you're looking very, very bullish, very, very bullish. Okay, the technical target for me, if you do break out of that, okay, if in the near short term, you would be looking, I think, to pump up to around 40 cents, I think it is. Yeah, for me, I think at a minimum the 1272, because at this point you will be running into this point of contact, which would be resistance. So you come up, you've done something like this, you've come back for support. Okay, if you start to form this shoulder now and break out and you tackle this one fib, my straight target is 33 cents. Now from current price, that's an opportunity of roughly around 50%. Okay, if this low holds that we've currently got here for Chiliz. So it's all about holding this low. Okay, it's all about holding this low right now, okay, because as I said, you've got this left shoulder, you've got the head, you've got the right shoulder, which is tying up exactly with the left shoulder support area. Okay, if you start to come up and you tackle through this resistance, okay, and break through 28 cents, you're looking for higher targets. And if you did come up and you did take out this this local high here at 33, then my next target for you guys would be 40 cents. You know, it just works in waves. You've got this wave one, this wave two, potentially if this is your wave two over, you know, and you start to come out and break out, you could be looking for a wave three up to that 1618, okay, and then a pullback for wave four back to the previous resistance that we've currently got at 28 cents, looking for that final fifth wave up where you're starting to retrace back to the all-time highs. So yeah, you know, there's a lot in front of us, don't get me wrong, there's a lot to break through, but the confirmation that, you know, you're holding support here and you're looking to break out, all you have to do is wait for a confirmational break of this local high at 28 cents, okay, and that will give you these targets moving forward. So that's the uptrend, the bullish sort of trend there for Chiliz, just looking at the weekly time frame here. Okay, so we've got something called an EMA squeeze on at the moment as well. Okay, we've got something called an EMA squeeze. So you've got these two EMAs here coming together. You've got the 55 and the 20. You know, if you start to get this bullish cross and you fall back to this as support, hold it and get a bounce and start to tackle out of that 28 cents, that's extremely bullish. Okay, these weekly signals on the weekly time frame, these bull crosses and death crosses, you can see, look, when you had this death cross here, okay, you had a sharp correction. If you get this bull cross, okay, and say the World Cup comes in, people start buying in even more, and there's a lot of FOMO, you know, you could start to break out in here and literally start to move impulsive, just as you did here, okay, because wave 3 is even more impulsive than wave 1, and if this is a large wave 1, God knows what a large wave 3 would look like moving forward. But yeah, so the potential targets, okay, again, another potential target, okay, this was going from this low, retracing to this high, okay, you've got this next point of contact at the 1272, and then you've got the 40 cent area, didn't we say, at the 1618. Okay, so that's basically going off of this low, retracing to this high for the fib. But if you're looking for, you know, the conformational break of the inverse head and shoulders, okay, all we need to do right now is hold this low. Okay, hold this low. Even if you had some sort of pullback, as long as you hold this low and start to work your way up, you could be forming exactly like you did here, a shoulder, and all you have to do is tackle above this to break out. And the technical breakout target of the inverse head and shoulders, okay, how we measure this is we go from the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders to the point of head, okay, the head of the inverse head and shoulders, and you can see if you start to come out and break that technical target, again, you're looking to retrace bang on up to basically the all-time high. And that it would be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it? You know, and for me, you know, this is just this was a large ABC correction, and right now you're starting your next impulsive move targets where you've got this wave 1, potentially this wave 2 if this low holds. Okay, you could come back a lot steeper. Okay, I'll explain why in a second. I'm going to look at pullback targets soon if we don't hold this low and we start to lose it. I'm just still showing you the bullish scenario. But right now, if this is a wave 2 and you start to get your wave 3 up to resistance, you pull back for a wave 4, okay, and then you get your final wave 5 push up to wherever it may be, okay, but you've got technical targets, and as we said, to the upside, okay, so 30, what was it I said again? So in the near short term, if you do start to tackle out of 28 cents, I think we're looking to push to 33. Okay, and this is in the near short term and minimum targets. Okay, if you start to break this, you're looking for this target up here. Okay, and if you start to get above that, then you're pushing up and extending to the 1618 at 40 cents. So they're my near short-term targets, and then also, you know, you've got larger targets, which I've just given you in regards to the inverse head and shoulders breakout, where you would start to be retracing to the all-time high. So that's the bullish scenario, guys, okay? And what we need to look at now, okay, is the potential downside targets. So if we have run into resistance at this point, okay, and you could say from this point here, what we're doing is we're retracing from this high, looking to pull back to this low, okay, which is our current low from June. Right now, you can see that Chiliz has just fell shy, okay, of this 0618 at 15 cents. So potentially right now, what could be happening in the bearish scenario is if you start to come down and you lose this low, okay, and you've come up like this. If you start to come down and lose this low, okay, I think you're looking for a larger pullback, and you're looking to come back to support of where you broke out here, because since you've broken out of this sort of irregular double bottom, you haven't actually back tested it for support. So really and truly, you know, if the momentum starts to slow down a bit, weaning into the World Cup, okay, and you know, it's a buy the hype, sell the news sort of thing, potentially you could be in some sort of A, B, okay, if you put in a lower high than this 28 cents, C wave down to the 0618 at 13 cents. Okay, so the golden ratio would be key areas of support. You've got two technical targets, so 15 cents and 13 cents. This is if you start to see the failure, if you can't tackle this high within the next coming weeks, okay, and you do put in a lower high, okay, you're indicating depleting buying pressure. You are looking, I think, to roll back down at least to the 050, and if you fail to break through that and you run back into resistance, I would look for a pullback to the 0618. Okay, so these are my pullback targets for Chiliz. Now, if that was to occur, I don't think it would be negative, to be fair, because you would have, you've got this ascending level of support, and if you was to start to, you know, you've got this low, okay, you've got a high. If you come back to the 0618 and put in a higher low, okay, and then start to attack this 28 cents again, even more so, you're coiling up in some sort of larger ascending triangle here, which is a very bullish, very, very bullish pattern. And as I've said, you've got the EMAs that are coiling up. And if you do start to get this cross, okay, and you've potentially come back and held support here and you look to break out, then it's looking very, very good moving forward. Okay, so there's a lot of good hype. There's a lot of there's a lot of buzz around Chiliz. There has been for a while, and it hasn't really stopped, has it, really and truly? But right now, potentially, okay, you did have a huge impulsive wave, as we said, of around 250% on average. And, within this, I do think you are going to expect some sort of nice retracement. And as I've said, you haven't back tested this 0618 of which you broke out of before, which led to this impulsive move. Okay, so it'd be nice to see some sort of A, B, C coming back to hold support. Okay, higher level of ascending support, coiling up in this ascending triangle. And still looking relatively bullish. So even if you was to come down, say from current price, okay, to the 0618, you're looking at a 41% drawback. A lot of people would be quite fearful, but you're literally just back testing previous resistance and turning it to support. It's literally all it would be. You've had this large bottom here, you've broke out. Okay, it'd be nice and healthy to see a retracement back to that for continuation of the trend, at which point then you start to attack 28 cents. So I hope you enjoyed today's content, guys, and fingers crossed moving forward if you are invested in Chiliz. It's looking pretty healthy, and just to confirm, okay, if we was to retrace back up to the all-time high now, you'd be looking at a 326% move, okay, and the technical target of this inverse head and shoulders breakout would literally put you back up to the all-time high. And again, as I've said, the inverse head and shoulders target is that 326% move up there too. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's content. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe. From Chart Nerd TA, until next time, peace out.